Hey, what's up, everybody? I want you to know that it's still available on WorldWrestlingCollection.com. That's WorldWrestlingCollection.com. The Sting signed WWE Topps bronze card, undisputed 2016 brand new booster boxes, and tons more cards available on WorldWrestlingCollection.com. There's plenty of other stuff you guys can browse around. Signed action figures. Some are sold out. Some are still in stock. And then there's a bunch of signed cards. Now let's get to the wrestling video. There's not a lot of news today, to be honest. Even JD didn't want to throw the off the script up because there's not a lot of damn news today. A lot of people died. That's kind of been news, is that all these people have died.
It's a very sad week in pro wrestling history, to be quite honest.
It really is weird, yeah. Koloff dying and George the Animal Steel. I mean, Nicole Bass.
Nicole Bass as well.
She was, before I ever heard about her in wrestling, the first time I heard about her was like Howard Stern show. Remember she was on there a bunch?
Yeah.
Right? Well, it's funny. What I want to get into is Kurt Angle. I want to find out where his place is going to be. It's Hall of Fame. We know he's going to the Hall of Fame. But
about time.
Do you really think that they won't use him for anything until WrestleMania or after WrestleMania? And even then,
to be quite honest, some of those rumors that are currently going around that apparently Daniel Bryan is going to be fired on SmackDown and replaced by Kurt Angle, they seem to make sense to a certain extent, and they also seem to fit with certain, actual realities that. Daniel Bryan has a kid coming. Kurt Angle is going to be in the Hall of Fame and potentially will return to the ring for at least a limited amount of time or some sort of appearance. So it just seems to make sense that that may be a potential that would occur. So I'm actually very intrigued to see what happens with Kurt Angle, but I'm very glad. I'm damn glad to see that he is recognized for the contribution that he made.
And the other thing is we've got Kurt Angle watch going on. Is he just going to show up at the Hall of Fame? And then we've got Finn Balor watch going on. Like, now he's booked at live events. And
now, that one's a very interesting topic because we've got WrestleMania coming up in the next couple of months. And we know that when it comes to Finn Balor, again, the way that he premiered in the WWE main roster was an epic event, and they're going to want to continue that. Again, he was the first Universal Champion, although that lasted very short. The fact is that they wanted to build him up as a big name, and I can only see the exact same thing happening once he returns.
What people think now is that he's going to return at the night after on Fastlane, night after Fastlane at Raw, for a build-up to WrestleMania. And I don't know who he's going to be facing. It seems like Samoa Joe. I agree that Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor was not exciting. The only thing that was exciting about their matches was the first one, I think, where Joe got busted open, and everything was weird because he was bleeding everywhere. So if they did, but I'm excited anyway for it. Even with that being said, with the chemistry maybe not being the greatest, to me, it's at least something cool to look forward to WrestleMania because maybe it could be good. Maybe he'll bust them open again. But I don't know. It seems like Samoa Joe versus Balor is going to happen at WrestleMania, and Seth Rollins will make it back somehow to wrestle Triple H at WrestleMania. What do you think about that?
I think that seems to be the direction where things are going. Again, there's this clearly a storyline going on between Triple H and Seth Rollins, and they do want to complete that. Again, there's this issue, but it seems again that there's going to be some sort of perhaps a new evolution that's created with all these different individuals like Samoa Joe, like Kevin Owens, and it might become this new stable where Seth Rollins, who is clearly a face now, although, WWE was very confused in the direction as to how he should have been marketed prior to the current time. But it looks like they're going to try to force, I guess, that against Seth Rollins, which I think it could be a very good storyline. I mean, we've got to see what they have planned and how they're going to handle the upcoming pay-per-views, because those seem always to be seminal in deciding the direction as to how the storyline is going to go.
A little while ago on Twitter, I put a post up. Who do you think is the worst wrestler in WWE? Who, if you could get rid of somebody, not just on wrestling skills, but if you could just get rid of somebody, who would it be? Beast Fat Boy said Dean Ambrose, and I said, really, of all the people on both rosters, you chose Dean Ambrose? And he said something like that. He couldn't really think of anybody else. So I disagree with Dean Ambrose being the worst on all the rosters. Red Robin 97 says Eva Marie, and perhaps we'll go through a few more of these. But Dave, do you know
how often have we even seen her on TV since she was downgraded to NXT? Although some people might say that that might be an upgrade.
Yeah, it's been since she came up to Raw and was doing her thing.
Exactly.
It's been months. It's been 3-4 months. 4 months?
I mean, we've got to think about right now, and there are people that are still showing up at house shows but really aren't being aired on TV, like R-Truth, for example, like Goldust. So there are people on the roster that we might not be initially thinking about, but may not necessarily need to be part of the roster, and therefore could be, put to the side, just like these people tweeting are saying.
How do you feel about Ellsworth?
I don't like the direction that they went. I thought that they didn't need to turn him heel. I actually thought if they had made him in a way that he was a face and he was this underdog, that story would have built itself, and it actually could have gone forward. I mean, we're not going to see this guy being the heavyweight champ, the intercontinental champ. But, I mean, he could be a tag team champ. He might have a contention for the U.S. title. So, I mean, there was potential there. I don't like the way that they've gone with having him teamed with Carmella. But the thing is, though, why is Ellsworth there? Because the people wanted him there. This is not something about, the company saying, well, he's best for business. They said, well, let's open it up and see what people say. The people were clear. They wanted an underdog. They wanted somebody who did not appear to be as big as other individuals, but they like that. They like that gimmick. Whatever it is, wherever it might lead, that's what they want. And I don't think that it's appropriate to take that away, because whether it be comedic value or for that inspiration about the underdog, because if you see this guy actually wrestling in real life, like videos on YouTube and stuff, I mean, he's not as shitty as they show him on SmackDown.
Yeah,
he's not bad. He's a hard worker, and he's got different gimmicks and stuff, and he can make himself fit the need of that storyline. So I would actually say that he should stay with it, because it's just what people want, and you can utilize that to make the audience enjoy the show. This isn't always about a serious storyline. People want to have fun. People want to laugh. And sometimes in wrestling, you actually need a comedic element.
Now, and I like what he does. I think he's all right. As long as it's weird, because like when he was on the spotlight, I got people getting upset at him after a while. But I'll never forget the super kick he had on AJ Styles. That was awesome. I don't know why.
No chin music. And again, I do have to tip my hat to the announcers, because that sort of verbiage that's used in regards to a move like that, I just think is just beautiful. It's a perfect sublime balance between what you're seeing and nostalgia. So, I mean, you got chin music, sweet chin music kick, and then you've got the no chin music. So I think it's beautiful.
I liked it. This guy, more people continue to comment on who they don't want to see in WWE anymore. Zach White on Twitter said Big Show or Mark Henry or Roman Reigns. Of all those three, probably.
But here's the thing, though. They actually play an important role, and despite the amount that we might not like them, there's also the fact that these guys are busting their ass off 300 days a year. And just because we're watching a show 1-2 days a week on TV doesn't mean these guys still aren't putting on 15, 20-minute matches on a live show that we're not watching. So when people think, oh, well, I don't like this individual, well, you're not seeing what they're doing in a live show and stuff. And that, I mean, has to be at least considered when it comes to reality. I mean, you can't just hate somebody because on the TV show they act in a certain way. I mean, they're there for a reason. They've busted their asses off, and they're there putting in their time. I mean, we do have to be honest about that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that if you added all those guys up, I mean, they come in with usefulness. I'm looking for somebody who really just does not need to be there anymore. And
let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen an individual who has been so put on a pedestal, like Roman Reigns, but has been so denied by the audience, like Roman Reigns, to continue to do their thing and work despite all the different hate or displeasure that they have, that people have with their character, as opposed to maybe say RYBACK, who at a certain point just said, you know, I'm out. I'm not going to deal with this stuff. I mean, we got to remember that Roman Reigns was punished after it came out that he was on ecstasy and, you know, he failed the wellness policy and stuff.
Dave, hold on a second, Dave. This has been driving me nuts. I don't know what's going on your mic, but every second, like, it's like a boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm talking about? What kind of mic are you using?
It's on a stand. Maybe I slightly hit it. I'm sorry.
You know, there's a guy.
Fail.
There's a guy who used to have a different show. If you did this, I swear to God, you'd be like fired or suspended or something. But it's but it's
I will watch for that. I'm sorry.
It's just funny because I've been ignoring it because like I'm not that crazy. Like I used to do it like once in a while. I would hear it. And it's random, but it's like only once in a while if you shift it or something like that. But since we started talking, I've heard it's been like constant and getting more and more. So like the more the show goes on,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It's
in the show.
It's really funny though. I guarantee you, there's comments about it down below. I guarantee. Even if I hadn't brought this up, I would have guaranteed.
Well, we'll see once this video is posted. So make sure to write your comments down if you heard the boom 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 boom. That
no,
Joe's
go ahead. I'm
about.
sorry. Go ahead though. But I had to tell you because even you wouldn't have been happy if you heard it.
Well, I think I summarized basically everything that I was trying to say there.
This guy says Curt Hawkins should be out of the company. He's like, oh, get Curt Hawkins out of there. He sucks. He hasn't been given a chance.
Considering that Zack Ryder is injured, why don't we team Curt Hawkins with Mojo Riley?
Yeah, he'd be the new Zack Ryder. It'd be great.
Well, they would basically make him obsolete yet again because, unfortunately, Zack Ryder might be a hard worker. He's got talent to a certain extent, but he's easily made obsolete, and he's a one-trick pony. I mean, his gimmick is the same. He can't rebrand himself as, say, somebody like Emma.
Right.
I mean, even with the whole Emelina fiasco. She's still, it's clear that she's going back to her heel Emma gimmick. And that's what everyone wanted. That's what everyone loved. And that's what worked. And, well, Zack Ryder seems to be a one-trick pony.
Yeah. But he's a guy who, with his trick, got over, and then they stepped on him. But then they gave him the title at WrestleMania for a moment or something. I don't know. I guess it's just, this is you. I don't know. So I don't know.
What about people like R-Truth then? I mean, R-Truth, I think, might be even more over than Zack Ryder. He's got the comedic value. He's very skilled. He's experienced as well because he is, in fact, one of these mentors and seniors. But I mean, he's like 50-something, and yet the guy looks like what?
Yeah, it looks like he's 38 or something. Yeah.
40. I mean, he does not look old. He doesn't age.
Well. And he was a great
heel. He puts
heel.
his time in. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's serious gimmick, which he's done greatly, or it's a comedic gimmick. but the guy always does his job, and I think it's very commendable for individuals like these to just continue to do their thing.
Well, I mean, I think Zach and R-Truth are one and the same. You know, they're both just doing their whatever, and they're there, and they're really good, and they work hard. They just don't pop out of that mid-card, lower mid-card. But, you know, I'm not going to deny how hard they work. I mean, Zack Ryder's battling back from another injury now. But, you know, R-Truth did have that heel spot where he was able to be a heel, and they ruined that. He was so good at it.
That was such a great... When he was teamed up with The Miz, and there was the whole conspiracy against them, that was probably like one of the best storylines that they ever put together for them, and they were working it so well.
I wish they would. I wish he would just do it. Like clearly, they don't want to do anything with them. But if they could, I mean, they could do that again. And he was getting weird and dark and shit. Like, it was great.
I'll be serious. R-Truth scares me. He looks like a guy that I do not want to like face in an alley, even if it was like daylight, because he could literally play the worst bad guy ever. And I mean, you're gonna fear this guy. I mean, he's got, you know, all these different like staples in his face and tattoos, and he can act really crazy. So,
right. Yeah, he just looks like I'm gonna do something.
no,
And
if you see the stuff that he's done in ECW and WWE and stuff, like this guy's put in his time, and he can be extreme. If you need him to do the job, he will do it, and he is a testament to the craft. I mean, I really have a lot of respect for R-Truth, despite the fact that they've made him a joke. But I really do appreciate what he's provided in professional wrestling.
no, I don't take. I'm trying to say, like, who is there right now that, like, you could just get rid of the next person that could be like, good luck with your future endeavors. You know, people are writing like John Cena, Roman Reigns, like, that's crazy.
No, that's impossible. You can't do that.
If you hate them and you don't want to see them anymore, that's fine. So maybe the question is sort of a double question, so people didn't get it. But to me, it's the person that, like, they just could do without. Like, they're really... But I guess I stated the question improperly. I guess I asked, who is the worst wrestler in the entire WWE? That's subjective.
I think I actually have to be honest here. I think maybe it's just my optimism, and that might sound a little strange, but I think it's my optimism that finds it difficult to actually decide who it might be that has to be removed. Because even people like, say...
Curtis Axel?
Well, there's Curtis Axel. There's... what's the All-American guy? I can't believe
what happened with that? I'm gonna be a big problem.
Jack Swagger. Please, I mean, I swear to God, WWE, if you're listening to me, if you were to give me 3 weeks, that's all, 3 weeks of booking, I could turn this guy around totally. Like right now, if you're looking at me, I've got my hands like in a prayer form. I am seriously like praying to the wrestling gods. If I could be given 3 weeks to, you know, make Jack Swagger better, I could promise you it would come out better than you've ever imagined. It's not that hard. These people have so much potential. Some of them might work stiff, absolutely, but they have talent. They've got knowledge, and they could definitely create such a great company in WWE that it's so frustrating to know that these people are wasted.
I guarantee that Zack Ryder is released. I mean, I'm sorry, Jack Swagger is released by the company by June.
You know, this might be a little too much, or you're a little too overzealous. But again, I see the numbers in WWE when you know that these people could be doing a lot more.
Yeah, and you're right. And even the people that are really good that we hold up on a high pedestal. You know, it's funny, we're talking about this just now. Tyler Maloney on Twitter tweeted R-Truth. But yeah, they could all be done better, used better. So it doesn't even matter. So I mean, they're not even booking the top guys with tons and tons of talent or obvious gimmicks. They're not even getting booked the right way. So what makes you think guys down there are going to get... I mean, they're a mess. I would love to be... And again,
like, for example, let's look at Naomi, who worked so hard, and, you know, she finally got the title, the women's title for SmackDown. Mm-hmm. And, you know, some people disagree with it, some people don't. But the bottom line is she put in the work. She put in the effort. She was there with the company for that long. That deserves holding the title, even if it is for a slight amount of time. You've put in that effort. You've shown your loyalty to the company. It's well deserved that you are able to show it off. So I think that's a great example in regards to how a lot of people might be diminished or discarded, not regarded as, you know, somebody that's good, but they don't consider the fact that they've put the work in, that they actually deserve that recognition. And the title championship is definitely one big way of doing so.
Right. Well, you're right about that. What do you think about NXT right now? Because it seems like they really need to bring in some more talent that becomes more over. I mean, they obviously have Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode, the two big names. But
Well,
I mean,
this is a great topic, because I think that due to the absolute void of creative intelligence in the WWE roster, how they've been culling the numbers, taking all these great talents from NXT into the main roster, that they've depleted that source of excitement and talent that was in NXT. And as you said, you know, right now it's sort of like a crapshoot. So it's very important that they, in Triple H, there's a lot of stuff I don't agree with the guy. But the bottom line is he's extremely intelligent and he knows what's good for business. He's always got his eye out for the next talent. He's always looking at people's contracts to see where he can sort of insert himself. And this has been proven in the past already. So I don't doubt for a second that he won't replenish the numbers in NXT with great indie talent that right now is rocking the world, whether it be in New Japan, whether it be in Lucha Underground, whether it be in ROH, TNA, anywhere. I think that he's got his eye out, and he's much more on the pulse of the situation than Vince McMahon could ever be.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's a mess. You know, you look at the different people that write the segments all over the place, and you wonder how certain things get approved or how much care. It almost seems like, again, that they don't even care about the mid card. Like anything mid card and below,
Very true.
Yeah, they just allow anybody, the next guy next week, to run it or produce it or whatever the hell it is. And maybe that's why it just goes to hell. I mean, if you could say, like, hey, can I get a 20-minute segment on Raw with whoever my guys are? Okay. So I have 20 minutes, and my guys might be Curtis Axel, The New Day, and something else. Or, you know, I don't know. It's not The New Day, but you know what I mean. And, you know, you should be able to formulate a consistent story. If you're one or two producers or writing staff, there's no it should be even easier. To be honest, it should be easier. It shouldn't be harder, because different people are producing different segments and picking up writers and different things for different segments. So they should be able to say, you know, I have one or two people that I'm writing for this week and producing a segment for. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to create a good story arc that goes along every other week, unless there's something I'm missing, like where their story arcs get interrupted by something else or they're bumped time. I don't know, but it appears to be retarded. I mean, I can't think of another word. I swear to God, it's retarded, like what they write.
There's no other way to describe it. There really isn't. I mean, it really is retarded. It's easy. It's cheap. It really is an insult to the viewer. I mean, we know we're watching wrestling, okay? We know that, okay? We get that. But to insult us to the point where you give us something that's subpar, despite the talent that you have available, I mean, 24 writers for Raw. I think that might be a problem. And if everyone's saying the same thing, I think that might warrant WWE looking into reducing their number of staff, because the more chefs you've got, the worse it is in the kitchen, or whatever the fuck that saying is.
Right.
I don't remember what it's. I pulled in a George Bush here. George Bush.
Well, at least you said whatever. I don't know what the saying is. Bush tried to like tell the joke anyway and then laugh. Really, Brenna? You be all right? You want to get in here? I'll get out of here. All right. Well, let's break it up now. Dave, I had a good time talking with you, and this was good shit. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I asked the question on Twitter, and you guys responded. And we made a video, I guess, talking about it the best we can. But it all comes back to me is for the writing to get better, right? It doesn't get better. Nothing's gonna get better. Thanks for listening.